So this morning I was working on some material for Volume 7 from the Pali Tradition. And it's interesting how they present selflessness, yeah, uh, because it's in many ways, it's very similar to the way our tradition does. But also, there's some difference in the wording, yeah, and a slight difference in the presentation, which I found very interesting because it made me think about things in a little bit of a different way. Okay, so I find this quite helpful, when you can look at the same material from different angles. So, uh, we always hear in the Four Truths that craving is the main thing that keeps samsara going around. Okay, so I always wondered about that, because ignorance is definitely the root, but why did they put craving in? And uh, then this morning, as something just clicked about that, in the sense that we are constantly craving our 5 aggregates. Okay, we want these aggregates, and the link of craving. When we study the 12 links, it's the 8th link. That's the one that is holding on to our present aggregates, and then when we can't hold on any longer, it gives rise to clinging where we grasp another set of aggregates. Okay, but it's good to stop and think, not just at the time of death how that happens, but how we uh, crave our aggregates right now. And what does it mean to crave the aggregates? It means to consider the aggregates mine, I, or myself. Okay? And so in the Pali Suttas, the Buddha is constantly going through the aggregates and asking the monastics, is this mine? Is this I? Is this myself? Yeah. So it's mm, how do you say, presented in that way, okay? And so thinking about craving our aggregates, even in this lifetime, how we crave our body. I mean, we want to have a body, don't we? We're very attached to our body. We don't want to give it up. Yeah. So is it any surprise that we're reborn in samsara if we have that attitude of such strong craving and attachment for the body? Yeah. And we crave our feelings. My feelings are mine, or they're I, or they're myself. And how we were talking yesterday about some of us who are just, my feelings, I feel this, I am happy, I am sad, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant. And how we crave not just the happy and pleasant feelings, but we crave feelings in general, even when they aren't pleasant, because when we have feelings, that supports the wrong conception of how the I exists. Because the ignorance is always trying to prove that it is a correct cognizer, that there really is this kind of I. So when we crave feelings, like I said, even painful ones, then we feel there's mine, they're my feelings, I feel them, they're myself. Interesting, isn't it? And then, the discriminations, the third aggregate. Yeah, how all of our discriminations and how we sort things out, how we figure out what is what. Again, we're very attached to that process and how we conceive of the world. Same thing with miscellaneous factors, all the emotions. My emotions, they are mine. Or I am angry, I am compassionate. Yeah, okay. This is who I am, myself. Yeah. Same thing with the primary consciousnesses. So all these things that compose the collection, independence upon which we designate I, yeah, we cling to all of these things as mine, as I, as myself. In this life, and that's the source of so much attachment and so much pain and confusion in our lives too. And then, of course, at the time of death, this works to ripen the karma, that throws us into the next body. So then there's a sutra passage where the Buddha talks about give up what is not yours. Okay? So he starts out, the body. Is the body yours? Is it I? Is it mine? Is it myself? Yes, it is my body. Well, no, it's not my body. There's nothing my about it. In fact, it came from our parents. So it's not ours. So give up the craving and attachment for it. Yeah. And then feelings. Yeah, our feelings are ours. My feelings, my precious feelings that make me alive, that give me my artistic, musical, and creativity, that are how I express it in athletics to reinforce the I, or in my intelligent this and that, how we're always doing that with our feelings. And, the Buddha's saying, are your feelings, are they yours? Are they you? Are they yourself? No, they're just blips of mental energy. Yeah. And we imbue them with so much incredible meaning, Oh, my feelings got hurt. Yeah. Oh, I am angry. I am, miserable. I am rejected. Yeah. And the intensity, how captivated we are by our emotions. I can't believe if you knew me in my, late teens, early 20s, you would never think I would say this. Yeah, because I was so involved in my emotions, And then to step back years later and just when you're having a strong emotion and say, whose emotion is this? Who's the I that possesses this emotion? Who is this emotion referring to? Who is it trying to protect? Yeah. And really looking at that. And the Buddha says, give that up. So that's the miscellaneous factors aggregate. And then just our consciousnesses too, how attached to them we are. I mean, especially in the desire realm, we are we are addicts to our six senses, and especially the five physical senses. Oh my goodness, all day long, our senses are working, and then, we're feeling things and we're generating opinions about them and we're having emotional reactions to them, and, all through contact and the consciousness is arriving, and how all of this gives us a feeling of there's a real me. Yeah. But who do these consciousnesses belong to? Yeah. And the Buddha keeps emphasizing these are merely impersonal factors. And at first our mind goes, wait a minute. They're factors, yes, but they're not impersonal factors. They are very personal factors. They are what compose me. Yeah. I don't know if any of you have read the Pali Suttas in this way, and they're impersonal, but my whole life, exists based on clinging to this one person. And how can you say all these things that sometimes are mine, sometimes are I, sometimes are myself, are impersonal factors like this table? You're telling me my feelings are impersonal like this napkin? Yeah, no. All of this is mine. It's me. It forms the essence of me-ness, which is this glorious gift to the world. And then the Buddha says, it doesn't belong to you. Give it up. Yeah? So it's very effective. I think in many ways it's effective to think this way, to generate renunciation for samsara, because what are we renouncing? The 5 polluted aggregates. It's very helpful for cultivating bodhicitta because everybody is undergoing this same thing and the suffering from it. And it's very helpful for understanding emptiness because none of this stuff is I. So I think that's enough for today, but a lot to think about there. Mm-hmm. And see, if your mind at any point goes, what? Like for me, it was really, impersonal anger. Impersonal. Not impersonal. Mine. And they're so meaningful. Yeah. This bag of vegetarian goo, and my feelings. And of course, my opinions and my ideas. Yeah. So, anyway.